sense if Drake hadn't said nothing for the last year and a half. If he hadn't said a word, no lawsuits, no nothing, hadn't said nothing, he just came out, what did I miss? I didn't know what y'all was on. Like, that would make more sense. But you in the videos surrounded by a bunch of choppers.
Drake's one of the most unpredictable artists in the game, a mystery wrapped in contradictions. One moment he's the polished ladies' man, showing love, preaching respect, and making women feel valued. Then out of nowhere, he flips the script, throwing out lines about a woman who allegedly curved him being a 10 on mute, and even dropping that bizarre "I'm a lesbian too" bar, which still has fans shaking their heads years later. It's like Drake lives in two worlds at once.
Baka was arrested and charged with forcing a 22-year-old woman into prostitution and taking her money. In 2015, he pleaded guilty to assault on a woman, an unrelated weapons charge. He was sentenced to 6 months, but since he had already spent 10 months in custody, he was not required to serve any additional time. The woman actually refused to testify, which led to the charges of forcing her into prostitution and human trafficking to be dropped. The reason why it stuck is because it sounded good and it sounded funny and it sounded disrespectful. Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? He put a whole plan together to make a record to dismantle y'all. That's all it was about. It was about causing friction from within. Saying, have you ever thought OVO was working for me? You know what I'm saying? Even for the person who might have not been working for him at all.
Sometimes he's all confidence and ego, bragging like he's unstoppable. Other times he's drowning in emotions, singing about pain, betrayal, and loneliness. That mix makes him complex, but also confusing. Yet the part that really throws people off is when Drake suddenly starts talking like he's got real street ties, as if he's seen that life firsthand. Some fans brush it off. They love his catchy melodies and smooth flows regardless, but others can't take him seriously when he switches into tough guy mode. They want the emotional Drake, not the gangster one, and that's where the big question comes in. Why can't Drake pull off the same hardcore image other rappers do without everyone calling him fake? Can he ever be respected in that lane no matter how hard he tries? To really get it, you've got to go back to the start. In the early days, room for improvement and so far gone. There was no talk of violence or street stuff. Drake was all about introspection, love, and ambition. The shift came later, around his second album, when he spit that wild line, "You gon' make someone around me catch a body like that." That single bar had everyone confused. This was the same guy blending R&B and pop. Suddenly, the soft-spoken hitmaker was talking like a boss from the block, and fans didn't know what to believe. At first, Drake's shift toward that tough guy image looked like a total disaster waiting to happen, especially since his crew back then wasn't exactly made up of street legends. It was mostly his producer 40, Ovo Ryan, and Future the Prince. Talented, creative, and business-minded? Absolutely. But hardcore? Not even close. And in hip-hop, a genre built on realness, that was a massive gamble. Trying to act like something you're not can end a career faster than a bad verse. But instead of backing down, Drake doubled down. Suddenly, he's rocking ski masks like he's about to pull a drill, rapping lines like, "I should probably be in there with thuggin' them," and even spitting wild bars like, "The weapons we got is some terrorist sh." It was a full-on transformation, and fans didn't know what to make of it. Still, no matter how many flexes he dropped, people just couldn't buy it. And lately, that tough guy image has made another comeback, especially around the rollout of What Did I Miss? Between flashing 100 guns in the music video and that awkward clip of him barking back at a random person during a live stream, Drake's Toronto Bad Boy act came out in full force. And what makes it even funnier, he's now completely leaning into that Toronto hood accent, the same one he once laughed at in front of high society types. It's wild, and most people aren't falling for it. Fans see through it, critics call it out, and social media eats it up every single time.
At the end of the day, you know, they're going to get over this crap because they're going to realize that it's crap, and then they're going to go do their own research. And when you do your own research, you're going to be like, wow, this guy made up a whole story about something that isn't even true, and it makes you look weird to me. I don't know.
It does.
At this point, the general vibe toward Drake's tough exterior is clear. People don't feel threatened, they just find it entertaining. But there are a few moments where folks admit he's not someone to mess with, except here's the twist. When people talk about Drake being dangerous, they're not talking about him. They're talking about the people around him. His entourage has changed big time. Gone are the nerdy suburban homies. Now he's surrounded by guys who really know the streets, some with reputations that go way beyond the music. To some, it even feels like Drake's running with his own private squad. And that's where it gets tricky, because for many of these guys, Drake isn't just a friend, he's their golden ticket. That kind of loyalty can turn volatile fast, and that's the part of Drake's world that truly keeps people on edge. Some of Drake's people eat only because he feeds them. Literally. He's the reason they've got designer clothes, shiny cars, and roofs over their heads. Whether they admit it or not, most of them would crash out for him without hesitation. By being their provider, Drake's built a circle that's loyal beyond reason, because one text or one quick cash app from him can change their entire lives. He keeps them close, always within reach, yet invisible whenever he decides it's better that way. Online, Drake's OVO crew, the so-called goons, always ride for him. They're ready to step up whenever his name gets dragged. But still, there's a lot of chatter that out of all the big rap entourages, Drake's might be the least intimidating. People clown them non-stop. One viral comment even said, "Drake got the worst shooters, man. All dorks, bro. LMAO." That's the image the internet paints. Polished, clean-cut guys pretending to be gangsters. But not everyone in Drake's orbit fits that image. One of the louder enforcers linked to his circle these days is Toronto rapper Top 5, a member of the Go Get 'Em gang, GG. Drake actually co-signed him early on and even shouted him out on Grammys from Views with the line referencing his track Shirt Off. But despite that recognition, Top 5 never left the streets behind.
Daughters, all that, nigga. Come get our blood. He threatening us. He threatening us. It's all off the tables now.
Yeah.
It's off the tables. He threatening us. Nigga. Fuck your whole family. I hope they send this to you. Everybody go tag him in it. You pussy.
Things turned dark after Top 5's brother was killed. He and the GG crew vowed revenge. And Top 5 didn't just talk tough. He took to Instagram multiple times, claiming he personally pulled the trigger on the person he believed was responsible. It was pure chaos online, and not long after, it caught up to him. In early 2021, Top 5 was arrested in connection to the murder of Hashem Omar Hashi, a 20-year-old accounting student. Police said it was a tragic case of mistaken identity. They believed Hashi was the man who killed Top 5's brother. 2 weeks later, cops caught up with Top 5, who was allegedly found with heroin and fentanyl in his possession. Despite warnings from prosecutors that he was a flight risk, Top 5 somehow got released. But just as they feared, he cut off his ankle monitor and fled straight to California. The story ended like a movie scene. Cops finally caught him hiding out at a Burger King, far from the city where everything started. That entire situation showed just how wild things can get in the shadows of Drake's world, where loyalty, money, and street ties all mix into something far more dangerous than people expect. After 3 long years behind bars, Top 5 finally walked free, cleared of every single charge. Reporters swarmed him asking, "What's your plan now?" And his answer was short and sweet: "Stop the violence." But that peace talk didn't last long. The second the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef exploded, Top 5 dropped the calm act and jumped right back into the chaos.
Now, Top 5 is good. He has like a big laceration. It was kind of deep. He lost a lot of blood. He went through surgery. He's gonna have full recovery. That's a fact. But it's gonna take a little while. I think he said it was like 17 inches, but I ain't gonna lie, they for what it's worth.
The moment he got out, he went straight online to thank Drizzy for covering his legal fees, even bragging that Drake hired Toronto's top lawyer, Gary Grill, to fight his case. At first, he talked about wanting to focus on positivity, but once Drake's feud with Kendrick caught fire, that all went out the window. Top 5 proudly took Drake's side, cracking jokes that they'd sit down together, watch the Not Like Us video, and figure out who needs to be handled. From there, he took things up a notch. Top 5 started claiming that Kendrick was banned from all of Canada, like he had the power to shut borders himself. While most people laughed it off, he doubled down, even saying he'd deal with anyone siding with Kendrick. At one point, he went as far as claiming he'd hit DJ Hadaj 3 and would walk away clean, flexing his dismissed murder charge like it made him untouchable. But if Kendrick was supposed to be scared, he clearly didn't get the memo, because not long after, he announced shows right in Top 5 City. That's when Top 5 started making noise again, claiming he'd stop the GNX tour date on June 12th by himself. And for a minute, he had some people thinking something serious might actually go down. He kept repeating that Kendrick wasn't gonna make it out of Canada alive. Still, folks from the West Coast weren't buying it. People like Whack 100 and TDE affiliates like Smack called cap instantly, saying Kendrick had nothing to worry about. The internet agreed. One Toronto local even said, "I'm from Toronto, and Top 5's a clown. Nobody's touching Kenny." And honestly, the footage didn't help Top 5's case. Videos of him wearing a bra and getting checked by other locals went viral. Not exactly the image of a feared gangster. When Kendrick finally touched down in Canada, Top 5 went into full performance mode. He tried forcing his way into the hotel like he was really on a mission, then got into another messy argument with Hadaj 3 online, screaming about being convinced Brody's the police.
If you're gonna disrespect my boss, my brother, my friend, or anybody on my team, I'm gonna feel offended.
True.
It would be weird if I did it. Those are my brothers. Those are the men that I eat with, break bread. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course I feel offended. But at the same time, I know that Drizzy Drake is a grown man and he can handle himself. If he needs me, he can call.
Meanwhile, Kendrick's show went on without a single problem. No drama, no threats, no chaos. After that, Top 5 faded back into silence. For a while anyway, but his comeback moment came fast when he tagged along with Drake to London for his Wireless Festival residency. From the second their plane landed, Top 5 was back to flexing, posting non-stop, and letting the UK know he was the man on their streets. He wanted everyone to see it, the energy, the attitude, and the illusion of power. But whether anyone really took him seriously, that's another story entirely. Top 5 quickly learned he wasn't as untouchable as he liked to think. Just hours after his bold talk in London, he got stabbed, turning every online joke about him into harsh reality. Instead of sympathy, the internet clowned him hard. People mocked him for talking tough about guns in a country where guns are banned. The London roadmen weren't impressed, and Top 5 paid the price. After the attack, police launched an investigation, and rumors spread fast that he'd cooperated with the cops. UK rapper Ratlin even called him a police boy, which wrecked his image completely. It was a brutal reminder that in someone else's city, you can't act like you run things. And by all accounts, Top 5 barely made it out alive. That incident only added to the list of Drake's so-called goons who've hurt his image more than helped it. And one name that stands out is Baka Not Nice, a longtime member of Drake's crew. Drake even shouted him out on More Life with the line, "That's Baka, he's a no-long talker, quick to let the tech slam." Baka met Drake back in 2010 on the set of Premi's video In My Hood and had already spent 8 years in prison. So when Drake began building his tougher persona, having someone with real street experience by his side made sense, at least in theory. But with Top 5's chaos and Baka's history, it's clear that surrounding himself with real ones might have made Drake's image look hard, but it's also made his world a whole lot more complicated. For Baka, rolling with Drake opened doors to a full-blown music career and a spot in OVO. Since then, he's been fiercely loyal, making it clear that any disrespect toward Drake wouldn't slide.
It might not have been a call, it might have been a text message, but he messaged me, and he's like, I know what you're feeling, I know you as an individual, and I know how you get down, but I'm just letting you know, like, don't listen to the noise, because it's noise. And if you go back and look at all these people that are saying things or having anything to say, they're not even actual real people, they're like bots. So like, don't let that shit bother you, bro. Facts. Like, and you know what, like, I mean, it's not a good thing, but they're calling your name, you know what I'm saying?
But lately, whenever Baka's name comes up, it's tied to one phrase: weird case. That all flared up again when Kendrick Lamar threw a sly jab at him, hinting at his past with an ex he once pleaded guilty over. Baka claimed Drake told him to stay silent, saying there was nothing to the allegations. But honestly, asking people to do their research wasn't the smartest move, because once fans did, it only made things worse. And if Kendrick's goal was to divide Drake's camp, it definitely worked for a while. Baka, once seen as the muscle of OVO, became a running joke online. Every post with his name got filled with clown emojis and memes, and fans noticed Drake barely appearing with him anymore, not even when he flew out to London. It felt like another dent in the image of Drake's supposed hard circle. But through all the chaos, there's still one person Drake can count on: Chubbs. Unlike guys like Top 5 or Baka, Chubbs has been there since day one, acting as both his right-hand man and his head of security. He's the one always by Drake's side, in public, on tour, everywhere. There's even that old story about the punked episode that never aired, supposedly because Drake got so scared it was too embarrassing. And even in the bits that did air, he didn't exactly look like a gangster. But through it all, Chubbs has stayed rock solid. From the thank me later liner notes to shoutouts at birthdays and parties, Drake has always made it clear Chubbs is family. And if anyone's really risked it all for him, it's this guy. Word is, he once threw hands with producer Detail after a dispute over working on Drake's album. Things got heated, faces were broken, and Chubbs allegedly shouted, "I'll beat all your asses. I don't care who it is." Whether fans love him or not, Chubbs has proven one thing for sure. He's loyal, fearless, and the one person in Drake's crew who truly rides for him, no questions asked. People love to ask, is Drake soft? Well, stories like these don't help his case. After producer Detail allegedly got jumped by Drake's crew, he claimed he was injured so badly he couldn't work for a year and said Drake refused to cover his medical bills. Then there's Toronto artist Mo G, who helped on Summer 16, but later blasted OVO online for not paying him properly. Just days after calling Drake out, he was hospitalized from a supposed beatdown, reportedly by Chubbs and other OVO guys. Another artist, DRAM, said he also got roughed up by Drake's security. All these cases share one thing: Drake himself is never the one throwing hands. It paints the picture of a guy who lets his crew handle everything while he stays clean, and when he has been confronted, it hasn't gone well, like back in 2014 when he got into it with Diddy over the 0 to 100 beat and ended up taking the L. Sure, Diddy's got that larger-than-life energy, but it's wild to think that J. Cole actually fought Diddy a year later and walked away fine, while Drake has no record of ever fighting anyone. Instead, he's built protection around him, a mix of street-connected guys and OVO affiliates tied to crews like GG Gang and Halal Gang. They've even been linked to incidents like snatching DJ Drama's chain during the Meek Mill beef, proudly shouting out Toronto in the process. But Drake's biggest shield might be J. Prince, the legendary Rap-A-Lot Records boss who's been running Houston for decades. He's known across hip-hop as someone not to cross. Just ask rapper Yuckmouth how serious his reputation is. Since Drake first linked with J. Prince's son Jazz, J. Prince has stood behind him like a guardian. And when Drake's feud with Kanye hit its peak, many fans believed J. Prince stepped in personally, even forcing that awkward apology video from Yeah that looked more like a hostage tape than a peace offering.
In this video to address the ongoing back and forth between myself and Drake. Both me and Drake have taken shots at each other, and it's time to put it to rest. I'm asking Drake on December 7th to join me on stage as a special guest to share the 2 biggest albums of the year, live in Los Angeles, with the ultimate purpose being to free Larry Hoover. I believe this event will not only bring awareness to our cause, but prove to people everywhere how much more we can accomplish when we lay our pride to the side and come together.
When that so-called peace moment with Kanye dropped, fans instantly saw through it. Nothing about it felt real. People joked, J. Prince definitely typed the whole thing. Drake looks like there's a gun pointed at him off camera. It only reinforced the idea that Drake's protected by powerful figures, yet still can't shake off that soft image that's followed him from day one. No matter how many tough bars he raps, people just don't buy it. And honestly, that's not because of Canada, it's because of Drake himself. To many, he's still the light-skinned, emotional guy from Degrassi who paints his nails and wears bonnets. Even fans admit it. Nobody calls Drake soft because he's Canadian. They say it's how he carries himself. So when he drops a video full of guns and gang vibes, it looks like pure acting. Take his What Did I Miss video, packed with guns and posturing. And yet, critics like Charlemagne the God couldn't help but clown it. Instead of flipping the narrative, it made things worse. Fans compared it to bars from Kadot's Euphoria, where Kendrick says, "I hate when a rapper talk about guns, then somebody dying." They turn it to nuns saying, "Pray for my city." The parallel hit hard because it exposed how forced Drake's street side looks. It's especially ironic when you remember this is the same guy who once rapped on Snoop Lionn's No Guns Allowed about honoring Toronto youth lost to violence, with lines like, "News from back home, this is when it hurts to be gone." That was the real Drake. Emotional, thoughtful, genuine. But when he tries to play the enforcer role, it just feels corny. And on top of all that, Drake's been publicly humiliated more than once. From Top 5's chaos to wild stories like someone allegedly peeing on his leg with zero response. Every incident chips away at the tough image he's tried to build, because at the end of the day, no matter how many bodyguards or guns he flashes on camera, the world still sees him as the soft superstar trying way too hard to look hard. That brings us right back to another Kendrick line that's aged like fine wine. Don't let another man pee on your leg, son. Either you die right there or shoot that man in the head. It's harsh, but it hits different when you look at how many times Drake's been humiliated without fighting back. And it's not just when he's away from home. Even in Toronto, things haven't always been sweet. Back in 2009, he got robbed for $2,000 cash, a diamond chain from Lil Wayne, and an Audemars Piguet watch outside a restaurant. Drake later admitted he knew it was a setup, saying, "I had on a sweater and jacket. They hit the window with a gun and said, 'Run that chain.' They didn't even touch her purse. That's when I knew it was all planned." To make matters worse, reports claimed he cooperated with police, which in hip-hop circles is a massive red flag, something Kendrick even hinted at in Euphoria. All of this proves one thing. Drake might be a global superstar, but he's not built like the streets he sometimes raps about. His background, his demeanor, even his reactions show he doesn't have that street-born mindset like K-Dot, who understands those codes just from where he grew up. That's why you get moments like Drake reportedly running off the 100 video set when a gun appeared. It's just not who he is. Even when Drake tried flipping the script, clowning Kendrick's gang ties, legends like MC8 called him out, saying someone from Toronto had no right to speak on that life. And now, he's not settling beefs with bars or fists, he's settling them in courtrooms. His latest move? Filing a defamation suit against UMG with 63 potential witnesses. Fans are roasting him for it. Chubbs ain't crashed nothing, and Drake took a rap battle to court, one commenter joked. Fake tough energy, and people still eat it up. Here's the truth. People don't need Drake to be a gangster, they just want him to be real, because when he tries to act hard, it's awkward at best and embarrassing at worst. The guy's a legend because of his talent, not because of any fake street persona. He's not a killer, and honestly, that's a good thing. Maybe it's time for Drake to drop the accent, ditch the fake tough image, and just embrace who he really is. The emotional, clever, hit-making superstar who changed music forever. But what do you think? Should Drake finally let go of the gangsta act and just be himself again? Or do you think this side of him is here to stay? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns just like this one.